The next theory that I will be going to discuss is called the bioecological theory. This theory was introduced by Uri Bronfenbrenner in the year 1986. It is said that human development is a transactional process in which an individual's development is influenced by various aspects and spheres of environment and interactions. Bronfenbrenner's bioecological theory views child development as a complex system of relationships affected by multiple levels of surrounding environment, from immediate setting of family and school to broad cultural values, laws, and customs. To study a child's development using this theory, we must not only look at the child's immediate setting but also the interaction of the larger environment as well. Bronfenbrenner divided the person's environment into 5 systems. The first one is the microsystem. The microsystem entails the direct contact of the child in their immediate settings such as parents, siblings, teachers, school, and peers. It is also bidirectional, means the child can be influenced by other people in their environment and is also capable of changing the beliefs and the actions of other people too. Interaction in this level are often very personal and crucial for fostering and supporting the child's development. A strong and nurturing relationship may provide positive effect to a child, while the distant or unaffectionate relationship may provide negative effect to a child. The second system is the mesosystem. Mesosystem encompasses the interaction between the child's microsystem, such as the child's parents and teachers, or between school peers and siblings. For instance, a child's parents communicate with the child's teachers. This interaction may influence the child's development. If parents and teachers get along and have a good relationship, it provides positive effect to a child. If the parents and teachers don't get along, it provides negative effect to a child. The third system is called the exosystem. The exosystem incorporates other formal and informal social structures which do not themselves contain the child, but indirectly influence them as they affect one of the microsystem. This includes neighborhood, parents' workplace, parents' friends, and mass media. For example, parents had a dispute with their boss at work. The parent may come home and have a short temper towards the child as a result of something which happened in the workplace, which leads negative effect to a child. And the fourth system is called the macro system. The macro system focuses on how cultural elements affect the child's development, such as the socioeconomic status, wealth, poverty, and ethnicity. For example, a child living in a third world country experiences a different development than a child living in a wealthier country. And the last but not the least system is called the chronosystem. The chronosystem consists all of the environmental changes that occur over the lifetime which influence development, including major life transitions and historical events. This includes normal life transitions such as starting school, but also include non-normative life transitions such as parents getting divorced or having to move to a new house. This theory can also be applied inside the classroom, and these are the 3 things we should remember. First, teachers and parents should have a good relationship to each other. Second, teachers must also be understanding about the child's family or cultural background. And third, learners must also be active and engaged both academically and socially through collaborative works with peers and get involved in meaningful learning experiences to enable positive development. The next theory we have is called the eco-biodevelopment theory by John Shenkoff. This theory incorporates the importance of neurobiology into the child's development. He believes that Children grow up to different cultures. That's why adults and children can adapt to different societies, behaviors, and beliefs because the brain has the ability to adapt to a wide range of environment. There are also three kinds of stresses that children might encounter in an environment. The first one is called the positive stress. Positive stress is a normal and essential part of healthy development, characterized by brief increases in heart rate and mild elevations in hormonal levels. This may feel in situations like the first day of school or receiving injections. The second one is called the tolerable stress. Tolerable stress is a serious temporary stress which resulting by more severe, long-lasting difficulties such as the loss of loved ones, a natural disaster, or a frightening injury. These can be buffered by supportive relationship by adults. And the third one is called the toxic stress. Toxic stress can occur when a child experiences strong, frequent, and/or prolonged situations such as physical or emotional abuse, substance abuse, exposure to violence, and the accumulated burdens of families' economic hardship without adequate support of adults. This can disrupt the development of brain structure and other organ systems and increases the risk of stress-related disease and cognitive impairment that can be attached up to the adult years. Jan Shamkov suggested the Critical Childhood Foundation composed of three essential things that teachers, parents, and adults must do. The first one is to establish a sturdy relationship with adults because it also serves as the support system of the child. Number two is to have a healthy physical environment. This environment must promote and provide opportunities to children to have exploration and learning. Number three is to have an adequate and appropriate nutrition. It means provide children to have nutritious food to eat for their whole well-being. The next theory we have is called the psychosocial theory by Erik Erikson. The psychosocial theory is one of the most popular and influential theory of development of all time because it provides a broad framework from which to view development throughout the entire life. Each stages in psychosocial theory is concerned with being competent in an area of life. If the stages are handled well, the person will feel a sense of mastery, which is sometimes referred as ego strength or ego quality. But if the stages are managed poorly, the person will emerge with a sense of inadequacy in that aspect of development. The first stage in psychosocial development theory is called the trust versus mistrust, which ranges from the age of birth up to 18 months. This stage is the most fundamental stage in life. At this point in development, the child is utterly dependent upon adult caregivers for everything they need to survive, including food, love, warmth, safety, and nurturing. The second stage in psychosocial development is called the autonomy versus shame and doubt, which ranges from the age of 2 to 3 years. The essential theme of this stage is that children need to develop a sense of personal control over physical skills and a sense of independence. By allowing kids to make choices and gain control, parents and caregivers can help children develop a sense of autonomy. The third stage in the psychosocial development is called the initiative versus guilt, which ranges from the age of 3 to 5 years. At this point in psychosocial development, children begin to assert their power and control over the world through directing play and other social interactions. Children who are successful at this stage feel capable and able to lead others. Those who fail to acquire these skills are left with a sense of guilt, self-doubt, and lack of initiative. The fourth stage in psychosocial development theory is called the industry versus inferiority, which ranges from the age of 6 up to 11 years. Through social interactions, children begin to develop a sense of pride in their accomplishments and abilities. Children need to cope with new social and academic demands. Success leads to a sense of competence, while failure results in feelings of inferiority. And the fifth stage in psychosocial theory is called the identity versus role confusion, which ranges from the age of 12 up to 18 years. In this stage, teens need to develop a sense of self and personal identity. Success leads to an ability to stay true to yourself, while failure leads to role confusion and a weak sense of self. The sixth stage in psychosocial development is called the intimacy versus isolation, which ranges from the age of 19 up to 40 years. Young adults need to form intimate, loving relationships with other people. Success leads to strong relationships, while failure results in loneliness and isolation. This stage covers the period of early adulthood when people are exploring personal relationships. The next stage is called the generativity versus stagnation, which ranges from the age of 40 up to 65 years. Adults need to create or nurture things that will outlast them, often by having children or creating a positive change that benefits other people. Success leads to feelings of usefulness and accomplishment, while failure results in shallow involvement in the world. And the last stage in psychosocial development theory is called the ego integrity versus despair, which ranges from the age of 65 up to death. The final psychosocial stage occurs during old age and is focused on reflecting back on life. At this point in development, people look back on the events of their lives and determine if they are happy with the life that they lived or if they regret the things they did or they didn't do.